Could be better if I could hear you.
You can't hear me?
Nah.
Yes, you can. I can hear myself.
I don't know what's going on. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of See You in Rome.
This is Yo.
And this is Rome, and this is episode number 49.
Yo.
49. We getting closer and closer to 52.
I'm scared.
For those of you who don't know, there's 52 weeks in a year.
Now you know.
Which means that the 1-year anniversary celebration is coming very, very soon. So if you haven't received the link from us and the password to RSVP, please inbox us. I'll make sure to get it over to you. We're celebrating here in Town and Country, Florida. It's close to the Tampa International Airport. So like I said, get at me. We'll get you the link. Make sure that you get your proper invite.
Correct.
So before we jump into some topics, a few things to get out of the way. Best podcast of 2018. Undisputed. If you want to dispute it, shoot us an email at coinrome@gmail.com. Also, if you want to get yourself some merch, you can get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt. Head on over to afgoclothing.com.
We have a discount code for you guys. That's ZioandRome15, XIOANDROME15.
Yes, and if you get yourself something, shoot us a picture. We'll make sure to give you guys a shout out. We want to thank you so much for your support with that.
Yes.
Yo, last shout out. West Coast Sign and Banner hooking us up with our stickers and our banner for our party. I just want to send a really big thanks to Dezog Thomas. Really appreciate you.
Respect.
How you doing?
Good.
That's good.
How are you?
I feel like I'm screaming in the mic because we on Instagram Live, baby.
We on Instagram Live for the first time.
So, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good.
Good.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Aretha.
Miss Franklin.
Yo, I posted a video on our page. She has some good shady moments.
I think she was based off shade subliminally.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching some of these shadiest moments from her, and I'm like, goals.
Yes,
goals
I want to be that
sure.
person.
Yeah, I mean,
I borderline am that person.
Yeah, but it's a little different when you accomplish, like, you know, you the baddest bitch. Real talk. Who gonna check me?
You right.
Yeah. So R.I.P. to her, man. What was she in her 70s, like 76, something like that?
I don't know.
72. Cancer it's fucked up. All right. Yesterday we went on over to an event deconstructed by Freshen Up Guys, Fresh Room Podcast. Shout out to you guys.
Yes. Respect. That shit was dope.
It was very interesting being amongst a younger generation.
Yes.
I saw a whole bunch of colored dreads, some tattoos on the face.
Tactical, goth-like kind of.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is that, you know, we don't stick out like a sore thumb too much.
Not too
amongst
much.
Amongst the young kids. But we was definitely having some moments where we were like,
what is happening?
Yo, there was this one kid rapping up there. I should have did my research and find out his name. But he was like, the chorus went something along the lines of, when I was 15, I was doing drugs, but then I had a kid on the way and I had to clean it up or something like that. And we're like, nigga, you look like you 16. What the fuck is going on?
So you're talking about a year ago? I'm confused.
I get that though, because when I go back to that age, like we was feeling like we was dealing with real life shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was very interesting at this age to look at that. Like, wow, it's some real shit going on out here.
What I thought was interesting was that I feel that for a long time, rock, you know, alternative music was what you considered to have the effect of like mosh pits, like rock, heavy metal. And I feel like somewhere along the lines, hip hop transitioned mosh pits into their own thing.
Yeah. And I also feel like punk is making
fusion.
Emo is fusioning a lot with hip hop elements and EDM. I feel like EDM has been the bridge to a lot of that. So I'm all for it. As a music lover, I love seeing these transitions and I'm all for it, dude. There was something that happened last night at that event, though.
Speak on it.
That really I didn't like.
Okay.
But I'm going to save that as a rant for later because I'm going to go in.
Okay.
Otherwise, though, it was a really good event. A lot of fresh talent. There were
local artists.
I enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed just kind of being a fly on the wall and seeing people who are really, really passionate about that shit.
Yeah. And I like being able to see other people kind of venture out in their creative space because it also gives me my own creative space where I can kind of pull from their own. You know, when Jaden had that whole conversation when he was like, oh, we can't be our own light, we have to climb off of other people's lights and et cetera, he's like, you can't do everything yourself. I think that that's kind of like how I feel when I see other creatives do things. It's like I see their ideas and how they do things, and it allows me to kind of like bridge my own thoughts and be like, I can do this and I can do that, and I can, you know, gain from this that they did and make it, you know, my own in this aspect. Like that's just the way that my brain works.
I feel like collaboration, it can create some great things, but I think that being vulnerable enough to allow yourself to be influenced and you can kind of like cherry pick the things that you feel are going to be of benefit to you with your goals and stuff. Like I like a little bit of what he's doing, but I also like a little bit of what you're doing.
Let me make it my own.
And you find a way to just kind of be strategic and put that stuff together.
It's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, like we all need each other, whether we want to admit it or not. No matter how much ego you have, how unique you want to be, like the world's been spinning for a very long time.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So, got something that's kind of inspired by the Brilliant Idiots podcast, which, by the way, Charlemagne's back. They did it. Really, I don't remember them mentioning why he wasn't on the past few episodes.
They didn't mention why he wasn't on for the past few weeks. However, at the end of their last episode, he did say, we'll talk about why we've been away for the last couple of weeks. And depending on how you guys react to this specific episode, we may be away for another couple of weeks. So I don't know if that was just him being playful and kind of like a banter.
I think I heard him say something like that.
Yeah. So hopefully we get to hear what's going on.
Right.
And we'll see.
Well, one of the things that they talked about was anxiety, and that's something that I've been struggling with.
Okay.
Not too much, but I do acknowledge that if I don't if I don't make the effort to have a sound mind, like anxiety could completely take over and just take me to another place. So I guess I never really realized that I had that problem before, but now that I'm aware, I'm realizing that I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of people that are dealing with anxiety these days. And so what they brought up was that anxiety is like very common amongst this millennial generation, right?
I can see that.
But they also say that the millennials are the most fearless generation, which I could see both, but they're kind of counterproductive, counterintuitive. What would you say are the pros and cons between the fearless dynamic, but also the anxiety dynamic?
I feel like the great thing about being fearless in the millennial generation is that we're not afraid to do things that perhaps our parents were afraid to do. Therefore, it may open a lot more doors for us that would give us more chances, opportunities that our parents would be
so more likely to pursue opportunities.
Yeah, more likely to pursue opportunities, more chances to gain things that we may want.
Yeah.
As far as the anxiety part, I can see where that also may be a hindrance. It may be the fact where we second guess ourselves. We tend to probably, and I say we because I know that I'm very much this person. That fear and anxiety sometimes creates thoughts in my own head that shouldn't even be there to begin with.
Right.
So, which it's crazy because it's like, where does anxiety come from? Is it just specifically self-doubt?
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's instinctive. You know what I mean? And it typically relates to things that are really, really important to us, things that we feel that we need to thrive and survive. And whenever that's threatened, I feel like instinctively we kind of just be like, oh shit, mayday, mayday. You know what I'm saying?
Abort.
You know, the twisted thing with anxiety for me is that I could kind of appreciate it in a sense because when I am a proponent of the thought that a worry is a deposit on something that may or may not happen. And I don't think that it's healthy to constantly worry about things. But I think that little bit of doubt, that little bit of worry is what makes you feel like you got to go harder. Like if I don't do this efficiently, quickly, effectively, if I don't go hard, nigga, I could lose all this shit. And greatness comes from that.
So do you feel like anxiety is also in the situation in which we're speaking of it? Do you think that it's based off of wanting to do better than others?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's trying to be the best version of yourself. And I think that for me, being that I'm a more ego, pride driven individual, I feel like for me, it has nothing to do with anyone else. It has to do with this image that I have of myself because I have so much foresight. And the moment that I feel like something that is happening that's not in alignment with my long-term vision, I'm like, oh shit, this can't be happening. You know, especially being that I've had experiences that have shown me that in an instant, everything in your life can change.
Or you feel like you may have complete control over something and it's going exactly your way. And then there's one thing the universe throws you off. All of a sudden that anxiety kicks in.
Yeah, it threatens the plan.
Correct.
You know, and I just kind of feel like there can be a healthy balance with anxiety, you know, because when you're in a space where you don't care and you're kind of like constantly going with the flow, you don't feel a sense of urgency, you don't feel a sense of pressure, I feel like you're always going to be lukewarm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That pressure is good.
I think that pressure can be good, depending. Now, if you're just a confident motherfucker that's like, I go hard regardless, hey, let's get this money. Like,
but that's fake in itself too. Nobody can be that confident to the point where they feel no anxiety.
I don't know. Look at Tony Robbins. I don't know.
You think that? No.
You think he deals with some sort of?
I think low key deals with some sort of anxiety.
Hey, some of the most anxious and mentally fucked up people have accomplished some amazing fucking things.
Yo, most of the most
because they're in their head.
Exactly.
They're in their own head.
I agree to that 100%.
Very interesting, and being that this is kind of like a reflection of, you know, we're the older millennials, right?
Right.
I don't know what we're calling these guys after us. Generation Z. Who are they?
It's Generation Z, yeah.
Boy, can't wait to see some of the things that they do.
Not
just the negative.
Right.
I'm just saying positive.
One thing that I can say is that I definitely enjoy that this generation that's coming up behind us is so okay with being different. Mm-hmm. They're so okay with being in their own skin, accepting the fact that they can walk to the beat of their own drum, not questioning what other people say about them. I have so much respect for that, because even though we can say, and when I say we, I mean you and I, we can say we really don't give a fuck what people say. Growing up, we technically did give a fuck what people said.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. They have no fucks when it comes to that shit. And I respect that. I'm like, yes, boo, do you.
Do you feel that we can take credit for setting a certain standard for
blazing that path? Absolutely. Because I feel like we were probably the first people to kind of like combat that. Like, I don't give a fuck. You're not going to tell me what I should do or what I shouldn't do or how I should look or how I shouldn't look. I'm me regardless. And where we were fighting for that, they're okay with standing in that.
Dude, I went to Burger King like sometime last week, and the lady literally had tattoos on her arms. Back in my day, you couldn't even wear, like, if you had a tattoo or something like that, they'd make you cover it with a Band-Aid, or we're in a totally different place.
With us, it was more of a stigma. And I think when we were like, I don't give a fuck, it's more accepting to them, to the point where corporate America nowadays is really kind of like being lax to that whole tattoo, piercing, all of that thing. They're okay with it.
So this next generation is growing up in an environment where they can truly be themselves and not have to fear that they can't have a sustainable life for themselves.
Or that they're going to be questioned as a person just because of how they are perceived as
or they're going to be robbed of opportunities and all those things. So I don't know. It's a beautiful thing.
So you're welcome.
You're welcome. Been doing this since 86, dog.
85, nigga.
Anyway, so let's take a look here. Yo, I took shoes to get repaired for the very first time. And I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if the reason why I keep running through taps on the bottom of my shoes is because I'm fat. Now, listen.
What?
I thought it was because the shoes aren't expensive. So I got these Incline pumps that I like. They're the most comfortable pumps I've ever worn in my life. They have iFlex technology in them bitches.
Oh, shit.
Love them. But
Okay.
I be running through taps like it's nobody's business. And I'm like probably on my 4th pair of Incline shoes. And
4th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I was like, you know what? I'm sick of running through these fucking taps. I'm just going to spend $100 and get the Calvin Klein joints. Right?
Okay.
Get the Calvin Klein joints. I'm strutting in them shits. And like a month later, I'm missing a tap, bro. I think I walk too hard. But I wonder if weight has anything to do with me running through these fucking taps, son.
Either you are walking way too hard or shoes just aren't the same anymore.
I don't know.
That may be a possibility. Shoes just may not be the material that they used to use, aren't necessarily what they use now.
I dropped off 5 pairs of shoes and all of them were black.
I love black shoes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just want to, if any of you have this problem, let me know because I'm sick of wasting money on shoes. Sinner TV. Okay. The Sinner season 2 is out on USA Network.
I need to catch up on that.
It's about a little boy who killed some people.
So we've established that moving forward, the Sinner doesn't seem to be about the same person who we originally spoke to a couple episodes ago. Mm-hmm. It looks like it's going to take on this spin of every season. It is a new sinner.
Yes, but there is a bridge. You do see a character that was in season 1 in season 2.
I like stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's really, really good. I think it has 100% critic rating.
What?
Yes. And man, this is a hell of a show.
Guys, if you guys have not seen this show, you need to get on it because it's very, rare for me to be like, watch this. This needs to be watched.
Yeah, definitely check it out. This is a good one. We went out on Friday night.
Yeah, we did. This weekend was live for us.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm still here. Still standing.
You did so good, friend.
Yes. So we went to Blend.
Yes.
First, and I was like, I ain't feeling this.
It's a hole in the wall.
It's cute. Mm-hmm. It's cute. Not necessarily a hole in the wall. It's just too commercial. It was like commercial and hipster mixed together. The crowd wasn't really. And we were talking about wanting to dance and let loose. And some guy cut in front of me to get a drink and I almost slapped him. It was just crazy.
It was actually funny.
And I was like, let's go to Ybor. So we go to the place that's across the street from Gasper's, which...
Studio 7.
It's called Studio 7?
Yes.
Okay. Finally, we know the name of it. And man, we had a blast.
So much fun.
Now, talking about blast, I don't want to put you on blast, but I want to know because I've realized that I let CEO go beyond her drink limit. Did I?
Yes.
And she said to me, I told you 3 drinks. 3 drinks is my limit. And I'm like, dude, you did not tell me 3 drinks was your limit.
But she was like, been friends?
She's like, I've said that in the past. I always say 3 drinks is my limit. Now, my thought is that every night you can have a different limit depending on what you're going through. I didn't know that was a concrete in stone limit.
It's so concrete.
Okay, now I know. So I'm walking, we're walking back to the car.
Oh my God, really?
And there's a mattress behind this bar. And this girl's like, oh man, what a nice mattress. It looks so orthopedic. I want to lay on it. I had to physically grab this girl and pull her away from laying on a mattress, laying outdoors behind a bar.
In my defense, it did look extra orthopedic.
It did. And it looked like someone just laid that shit out there.
Somebody literally just brought it from outside of the club and put it out there. It wasn't dirty.
Nope.
Nothing. So I was like tired. And I know that we were leaving, so I was like, oh my God, Rome, like this mattress looks so perfect. Let's go try it out because it looks orthopedic. She's like, no, let's go. And I was like, ugh. My friend's being a party pooper.
So what? I don't know that I have a drink limit because I feel like everything I drink affects me so differently. Like 3 glasses of champagne ain't gonna do shit to me.
Okay.
3 glasses of Remy, 3 glasses of tequila might have a nigga completely fucked up.
See, but the difference with me is that how often do you see me really switch up my drinks? I'm a pretty much consistent kind of girl when it comes to drinks. So the reason that I say whether it's 3 glasses of wine or 3 glasses of Tito's or 3 glasses of Long Island's, I know that that is my limit. I am so coherent and still able to kind of function at my 3rd drink. Anything past 3 drinks of whatever it is, I'm a completely different Zio.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm letting you know now, what you get after this 3rd drink is not my responsibility.
I apologize. I fucked up. But we had a great time. You know, something that was a pet, I guess a lot of shits pissed me off this week. I'm not pissed, but I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
The DJ was not taking any requests. Who does that? Josh said just flip the mattress. Yeah, that's a good idea. No, but a DJ that don't take requests, that make me feel like you ain't a DJ, fam.
Yeah, I literally hollered at him after. I was like, are you the DJ? And he was like, it depends on who's asking. I was like, what DJ doesn't take requests? That makes no sense. You're supposed to. He's like, oh, well, if I take a request, I have to take a request from everyone. Yeah, and that's going to put asses on the fucking dance floor. Which, by the way, speaking about asses on the dance floor, I want to say that being at Studio 7 on Friday night brought me back to my high school days.
Yeah.
Because I literally looked over and saw a circle and people one by one going in the circle dancing. That is high school to me all over again.
Yeah.
To the point where I literally looked at you and I was like, Rome,
I'm going in the circle.
I'm going in the circle.
I didn't even see the circle. I was like, oh, she peeped that shit from a mile away. You know, I love that. And there were a lot of good B-boy break dancers out there. That was really, really, really cool.
Dope.
All right. I think the only thing that I have left is my rant.
Damn, we really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go. Did you know that there's a bill that's being introduced that criminalizes false crime reports on people of color? So hence permit patties that are calling the cops on these people that are, you know, which technically it's not false reports, but it's not necessarily something that you should be calling 911 for. So now there's a bill that's being introduced that is actually holding them accountable as far as this possibly being a crime towards them. Do you think that that's a good idea, or do you feel like that's going to open the whole race card thing again?
It could open the race card thing again. It could create room for valid crimes being committed that may evolve after the phone call. Like maybe it's starting as something small, but after that phone call, maybe it evolves into something else. Maybe, you know, we'll get like less serious responses to things. I don't know. I just feel that that's a little dangerous. I think it's important to send the message that you can't just racially profile people and we're going to hold you accountable, but it's going to be basically left up to interpretation.
Which, I mean, I feel like that's
the scariest part.
Well, I feel like all laws are kind of like that. I feel like depending on laws where we want to talk about hate crimes or racism or anything like that, they can be subjective in a sense, which is it sucks a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's the world that we live in. But that also leads me to talk about something else. You know, as people of color, we tend to talk about the whole Trump thing and the whole racism that it's exposing and all things of this nature. However, I will always say what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Okay. And although I personally don't agree with the way that a lot of Trump supporters go about their ways of thinking or believing, I must also say that there's this whole new trend where people of color who are seeing Trump supporters wearing Make America Great Again hats are running up to them and slapping the hat off of their head. that's a no-go in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a certain level of respect everyone's
Absolutely.
entitled to.
I feel like if people are minding their own business and they're wearing this hat because this is what they choose to believe in and this is what they choose to support, we are only feeding to the stereotype of what they think of us by behaving in such manner.
Right.
I think that you should just proceed and do what you have to do, continue on with your day, but feeding into the situation and slapping it off their heads and acting childish and immature and the way that they believe us to be as people and the way that we behave, I think that that's a bad look. I think that we kind of need to hold ourselves accountable for that not being okay as well.
If you can't conduct yourself with a certain level of class, then it's like you really don't have a place to be critical of other people. So it's like, just from that standpoint alone, you got to be careful with that. To your point, like when you behave like that, you're just proving them right.
Correct.
But it's just like at the end of the day, even though I don't agree with you, like I should be able to respect the fact that you have free choice, especially when it comes to things political in nature. And really all it does is just raise a certain level of awareness that we ain't all kumbaya in this bitch.
Word.
And it's just good to have that sense of awareness. So I'm really not too shook about that shit. I ain't gonna be slapping shit off nobody's head. But yeah, could we do better when it comes to certain things like that? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that we need to stop focusing, even though I understand why that is the focus. I feel like we need to stop focusing on the whole race of things, and we just need to focus on the human aspect of it. Like, we're all humans, and at the end of the day, the respect that I want is the same respect that I'm going to try and give to others.
Big Zeke TV says slap the hat.
Slap the hat.
Yo, slapping a hat might get somebody lynched in his bitch.
Listen,
I ain't stepping in that square.
Zeke, are you ready to handle what's gonna happen after that hat gets slapped though? Because things could carry on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not gonna be in support of it. You know, if I thought you were my friend and I find out that you're low key racist or whatever, I'm gonna fall back.
Yeah, I could choose not to be your friend.
I don't think I'm gonna fight you though, bro.
No. Like, you have to do some real shit to make me feel like I need to fight you. I'm not wasting my energy on that shit no more.
I'll root someone on that slaps that hat though.
That actually is like a good segue into something else that I want to talk about.
Okay.
I think that if people are out here praising positivity and or to always do the right thing, shouldn't it be your responsibility to make sure that who you surround yourself with has the same approach?
So, meaning that if you are this type of person, hold yourself accountable for surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals?
Yeah, in the sense where, let's say that, perfect example, I was a hothead in circa 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
I was the type of character where couldn't someone look at me the wrong way, I was beefing.
Right.
That's it. I reached a certain level of myself that I felt that wasn't necessary. I had a kid. I had a family. I was growing up. And it was just like, I started to say, okay, I want to do things differently. Which then led me to cut certain people off in my life as well, because I realized that they weren't seeing me or seeing things in the same way that I was. I think you are responsible for that for yourself.
Yeah.
I think if you want to be like positive vibes only, because that's a trend now. Mm-hmm. Positive vibes only. I want no beef with people. I don't want that. Blah, 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 whatever. I think that if you're holding yourself to that level of a human, then you should surround yourself with like-minded individuals. You can't be like positive vibes only and then have the shorty that you just rolled up somewhere in with beefing with somebody else.
Yeah, I think that just from that perspective, it just comes off hypocritical. Like, you're just riding a wave of positive vibes only, but are you really positive vibes
Correct.
only? Are you really guarding that energy in that space and protecting your aura and shit?
Correct.
You're not that bitch. You just saying some shit that sounds cool. You know what I'm saying? However, to answer the question, I feel that if I'm in a space in life where I'm like, yo, what's important to me is financial wellness, being mature, going after my goals, being an entrepreneur, like those things are really my main focus right now. Being slow to anger, not thinking with my fists, but if it come down to, I will use them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I feel that those things are important to me. However, if I do have a friend that's not necessarily in alignment, not necessarily on my level or even have that interest, I feel like I can still be friends with that person, but I have to be in a space where I'm not easily influenced by that shit. Part two of it is that if you are that messy, ratchet, crazy, off the wall type person, but you keep somehow bringing your drama into my life and you're asking me for advice and you're trying to be glued to the hip, at some point I'm going to be like, yo, I still fucks with you. You crazy as fuck. I love you. But when it gets to a point where now what you're doing is affecting me, I have to be mature enough at that point to say, maybe I need to put a little bit of distance between our bodies.
Yeah. But I think that's the problem. I feel like it's mainly when people preach these positive vibes and I want no beef and this and that. I feel like it is really because technically that's the world that we live in, where people want to ride this wave, this trend of kind of just being positive vibes only and I want no beef and I'm grown, whatever. I think that people should just stop being fake and trying to jump on this wave. See, I can be of the type of nature to be like, I try to be positive, but I also know that I can positively fuck you up.
Word up.
It's all about balance. And I'm going to keep it real all day.
Now, here's what I will say. Just to play devil's advocate, because, whoa, shit, microphone falling off the table. So I feel like I'm in a weird space in life where I kind of give people the benefit of the doubt and I'm trying to see things from a different view. And I'm trying to remember what I was like when I was of a particular age. So I feel like someone who's saying positive vibes only, but they're surrounded by people that aren't necessarily positive. I feel like there might be something inside of them that desires that. But
the positivity
that desires the positive vibes only. And that's the direction they feel they should go in. But they struggle with taking the action that's really going to result in what they're saying. There's people all the time that are all talk, but they never put the plan in motion. And I feel that loneliness is such a huge thing, because you think about cutting people off and you're like, whoa, where's all these positive people I want to surround myself with? I don't know them. A lot of people don't leave their block, don't leave their hood, don't leave their squad, don't leave their set. You know what I mean? And I think fortunate for us, we are so outgoing, so comfortable in our own skin that it's nothing for us to go out, be charismatic, and connect with people. Like, you could put us in a room with nobody, a poor person. You could put us in a room with millionaires. We're going to find a way to engage, but not everybody has those people skills. Not people have those friendship and relationship building skills. So I feel often people who try to seek God, people who try to seek righteousness, people who try to seek positivity, I think they really struggle in figuring out how to make that transition in their life.
Yeah, I just feel like
that could be a factor. Not so much being fake, but that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
But I still feel like you're at an age, especially when you're in your late 20s, our age, that you have to hold yourself accountable for knowing better. I don't care what nobody says. Like, at the end of the day, you can't say. And then also another thing is that the 6 degrees of separation is really fucking real.
Oh, absolutely.
It is so real. For those of you guys who don't think that that's real, it's a real thing. Somebody always knows somebody that knows somebody that knows something about it.
I'm almost on 3rd degree of separation at this stage of my life.
It's so funny because even last night when we were in this event, I could peep about 5 to 6 different people that I don't know personally, but that I know of through someone else that I'm close with.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy to me. It's like, you guys have to keep that in mind, that regardless of what's going on around you, you have to be aware of who you like, who you dislike, who you choose to approach, who you approach negatively, because they may know someone that you know that it can be really iffy right there.
Something I feel is a little more important than that is that I look at life like it's a timeline, like a spectrum, like a timeline, right? Mm-hmm. And the more time you spend around bullshitting is time that you're robbing yourself of doing something great.
Correct.
Because in an instant, shit can change. You know what I mean? So all that time you're spending being afraid, being ignorant, not figuring out how to living your best life. You know what I'm saying?
Smile, bitch.
Yeah, you're robbing yourself of experiencing what that's really like for real. You know what I'm saying? You can imagine what things are like, but when you're actually living it, that's a big leap, and it's really, really nice to kind of branch out and to do something different. It's scary as fuck, but shit, it's worked out in my favor.
Yeah, you're right. I just wanted to put that out there because I'm like, you know, I don't want people to ride this wave, especially how we were speaking about this generation coming up after us. We've kind of blazed a path for them to be themselves. Okay, but be yourself. And the same way that we can say, or that I can say, because I can only hold myself accountable, that I am about positivity and trying to be out here living my best life, I am still in that same breath, because I am all about balance, saying that I will fuck you up if I need to.
Yeah, facts. But I must say that maybe we taken a page out of our previous generation's book. They used to say, don't talk about it, be about it.
You right.
That's all it comes down to.
You right. I agree to that.
I really feel it falls in that category.
Well, I'm positive, but I'll be about it.
Yeah.
I'm positively about it.
I don't think anyone's doubting that you about that life, dog.
Son.
I think I'm becoming less. Now that I'm realizing that there's squares that I'm not stepping in, I'm like, wow.
Step in my square, bitch.
There's some squares I'm not stepping in, and I'm okay with that.
That's fine. I'm grown enough to be like, I'm not doing it.
Just know if I step in your square, I'm going to just be like,
hey. I just hit my head.
Watch out.
If I dance in that square, it's a rap.
It's a rap, B.
Anything else you got over there? And do you have anything else over there?
I have a rant, but
okay, I'm gonna I'll close out with one thing after your rant. So I have a little quote that I read. Shush.
Okay.
I have a little quote that I read that I really felt like it said a lot to me just by me reading it. And I want to say it out loud, and I want to get your opinion on it. You should never have to beg for what you deserve. What do you think about that?
Facts.
Yeah.
Begging is whack in any scenario.
Okay.
You know, and here's the thing. Like, let's talk about career, for example.
Okay.
You could be the most deserving candidate, but if for whatever reason they don't want to give it to you, sometimes it's that they are just not in a place to believe and understand your worth and your value. And I feel like sometimes when you're in a space, oh gosh, wow, that quote is actually really deep.
And so many
it just hit me in another way, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, this is a fucking moment. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you deserve it and someone doesn't see that inside of you, it's their loss.
Correct.
Make these niggas catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
But on the flip side, if you're in a situation where you're begging, maybe you're not as good as you think you are.
Maybe you're not as deserving.
Maybe you're not as deserving as you think you are. So I feel like whenever you're in a position to beg, that's a really good time to say time out and do a self-check.
Let me reevaluate.
Yeah, because begging is never the way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like stating your case and trying to make sure that other people see what you see is one thing, but begging, that's different.
But like, for example, even when it comes to relationships, I feel like that can be blinding because we feel the need to always express to our counterpart what we feel we deserve, what we feel is expected. And even though it may be the most common sense things that people feel like they deserve basic wise in all of their relationships, sometimes people feel the need to beg for it because they're not getting it. And that should be an indicator to itself as far as the relationship. You shouldn't have to beg for this. If you're not getting it, and this is the most basic thing that you deserve, i.e. respect, loyalty, things that should come naturally, baby, you don't gotta beg for that shit. Yeah. You deserve this naturally. And if you are not getting it, male or female, it's time to go, boo.
I just feel like, wow, so much is dawning on me in this moment. What is going on right now? I'm remembering something that I kind of forgot. When I was in maybe middle school, they actually put me through a program for conflict resolution.
Peer meditation is
peer mediation.
Peer mediation. I did that.
They made me like the mediator.
Me too. We're friends for real.
So like they trained me to be a mediator, which was interesting because I'm not necessarily, looking back on my younger self, I wasn't necessarily the right person. I didn't handle
Clearly
conflicts.
They saw something in you though.
Right. So that peer mediation, it really had a structure about identifying the issue, like
allowing someone else to speak,
all those little things. And I think that at this age and at this age in our lives, you know, I've had relationships where I've led with emotion and not with logic. And I know what it felt like to beg and not get what I was needing. And what I've had to realize and respect is that not everybody sees things through your eyes. Not everyone has had the same experiences that you've had to where they're willing to compromise. You know, everybody's kind of in a different place. And sometimes communication will allow one of the two of you to cross a bridge to try something new. Because that's what compromise is about. Doing something different than what you instinctively want to do.
And learning from it.
And learning from that. But at the end of the day, there's so much respect for another person that I have that even if I feel like I'm 110% right, if I'm in a place where I've asked several times for something to the point where I feel like I'm about to beg for it, I have to realize that I have to respect you and your choice, whether I believe I agree with it or not. And I feel like when you have to beg someone for something, that even after begging, if they give it to you, is it even gratifying to you anymore?
It's not satisfying. And at that point, that's where resentment comes into play too. Yeah. Because you're getting what you want or initially thought that you deserved. But because it took so much begging to get, you no longer see it in the same light.
I feel like women are really bad about demanding things. And as long as they're getting what they need, they're content. They're fulfilled.
Happy wife, happy life.
And they're like, I don't give a fuck that he don't want to do it. He just better do it. And like, I'm just like, as women, I think that we need to do a better job. Jesus Christ, what is going on with me? Because think about it. This is a fucking oxymoron. So many women that are like, he just treats me like a piece of meat. He just treats me like a piece of meat. He just treats me like a piece of meat. But we sometimes disregard that men have emotions. They have desires. They may not speak on them because they tired. They don't want to deal with our shit.
They tired. They body weary.
They don't want to be vulnerable and speak on things. And sometimes they're feeling things, but they don't even know how to articulate them because it's not in their nature. But I just feel like we have to take pause and realize there's another human being involved in this circle.
It's not just us.
Like basketball wives. The girl orgy that keeps asking her man if he wants to marry her. Like, bitch, stop pressuring a nigga.
Well, he'll marry you when he wants to fucking marry you. If anything, you're making it more awkward. Like, even if it was a slight thought in his head, the fact that you're now questioning it repetitiously, he may now start questioning it. And he may be like, maybe I don't want to marry Shorty.
Now, when I was with my husband, there were times that I brought up marriage. But it was because I was so thrilled with the vibe we had that I was like, man, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You know, like, this is fucking amazing. But if there were ever any indication where he's like, marriage,
you're probably not going to bring it up again.
Yeah. I mean, he always left me with the impression that marriage is coming. Not right now, but it's something that will come. Just be patient. I feel like some of these dudes be like, I ain't even thinking about marriage right now. You know, I'm still young. You know, I want to finish school. I want to, you know, what the fuck? What y'all bullshitting about? What's up, 10 o'clock and bullshit?
What up?
Yo, so I just feel like we need to take pause because sometimes men will just let us run our mouths and then they don't tell us what they feel. Just be like, what do you think about that? What is it that you want? And man, sometimes they just love you so much more just because you took a moment to acknowledge them. Now, if they do speak up and you identify that both of y'all don't want the same shit, then it's time for somebody to put their big girl panties on and figure out, is this right?
And I think that's important. What you're saying is the fact that communication is key. And I think that just because something that you want isn't necessarily something that your partner wants, that doesn't make it right or wrong. That just makes it a point where compromise can happen, where learning can happen, where growing can happen.
So are we opening our mouths and complaining until we get what we want? Or are we opening our mouths and having adult conversations where we genuinely care about what the other person's feeling, what the other person's desires are? So
just because you deserve something doesn't mean that the other person doesn't deserve something too.
Yeah. And ultimately, if you feel like you deserve something, you got to be ballsy enough to put yourself in a position to get what you deserve.
Yep. Amen to that.
So, yeah.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Go on your rant, girl.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Last night we was at the Deconstructed shit with Freshen Up Fresh Room podcast. Yes. Great event. No disrespect to anybody hosting or that was a part of this. I really enjoyed the energy. Great.
It was dope.
But there was this one gentleman, don't remember his name, and it's only entertainment. Okay. So I ain't taking it the wrong way. But he said some shit that made me want to slap the shit out of him.
Wait, what? Go ahead, because I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
I wrote a whole monologue, bro.
What the fuck? That is a rant, bitch.
Speaking of being fat, last night a guy on stage said something about BBW season is coming.
He did say that, and he said something about it because it's getting cold and we're gonna want to cuddle or some shit like that.
And facts. Okay, it's only entertainment. It's cute or whatever, but I kind of want to entertain back.
Okay, let's do it then. Let's do it.
Let it be known that it's always our season. Okay, I'm sick of dudes trying to speak on our bodies and whether or not we're good enough. It's always good to have fitness goals. It's always good to have health goals, but life isn't all about fitness and weight. You know what I mean? I feel like that's one element of having a good and balanced life, right? So there's so many different elements that make up who we are as individuals. Needless to say, our valuable contributions to society, regardless of how big your waistline is.
Oh, what kind of season it is.
Or what kind of ice cream you trying to eat.
Chocolate.
You know what I'm saying? But it's always my season. And if you can't recognize that women are always in season, then you the dumbass.
Hey, listen, what you don't like, someone else does.
So I want to say that a lot of these cats are far from perfect, sitting here trying to tell a bitch when her season coming. I'm just so sick of you motherfuckers.
Oh,
I'm so sick of you motherfuckers.
Oh,
I'm just fucking sick of it. I'm just fucking sick of it. BBWs, y'all about to be back in season. Oh, thank you for giving me permission to be great.
I'm living my best life.
Disgusting.
I don't know. I agree with you. I think that I knew exactly the moment that you were speaking of. I actually was a little taken aback. I was like, wait, did he just say your season's about to come up? Although, to play devil's advocate, I do believe that it was all in a joking manner. But I think that behind every I'm just joking, there's a little bit of seriousness behind it.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether there's a little bit of seriousness behind it or it was an actual joke, I agree with you in the sense where let's not make each other feel less than because of our physicalities. And let us just be great and know that if you don't like BBW only in wintertime, let it be known that someone likes BBW summer, winter, spring, fall.
Now, here's the thing. There was another set of cats that actually had a song dedicated to BBWs, which was fucking ironic and great in itself. I'm like, he gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it. I'm not saying you have to love BBWs and that's what you have to be attracted to, but you ain't going to body shame me, bro.
Yeah.
Because just if my waist is fat, best believe my fist is fat too. Know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but
this pussy fat too.
Here's the thing. Let's say that I'm in a position.
That was too much.
Let's say that I'm in a position to where I could actually help you with your career.
Yeah.
You just got on stage and said BBW is about to be back in season.
Now I don't even want to fuck with you.
Someone decides to introduce you to me and be like, that was funny. You try to dap me. I'm be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be mindful. Like, it's executives in all sizes.
Hence, we all know somebody that knows somebody that knows something about it. No, goes back full circle.
And then he wasn't even fit. Anyway, I'm always in season. I'm making a t-shirt that says that shit. I'm always in season, fam.
Yo, yes, I co-sign on that. But to talk about what you were talking about last night as far as like the whole event, I must say that as far as some of the local artists that we have here in Tampa, there's quite a few talented individuals.
Yeah. You know, what's so great when you kind of see people like right before they pop and you see them pop and you're like, I'm genuinely happy for them because I saw them out there grinding.
Yes. I appreciated a lot of what was happening last night. There was some things that I definitely don't necessarily mesh with, but that's perfectly fine because there's an avenue for those type of people as well. Yeah. Just because I don't feel it doesn't mean that they may not pop. Who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? But I can definitely say that there was a lot of things that were happening last night that I was just like, okay, I see you, Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
I see you.
Yeah, Tampa is such a melting pot
for sure.
And it's really nice to watch. I love art, so I'm all for that shit. Yeah. Not sure if you have any other topics, but I do have something that just popped in my head.
Go ahead, because I just want to close out with something.
I want to talk about sex.
I love sex.
So I want to talk about, while on the wagon of female empowerment, how do you feel about women that can be very straightforward and vocal with men about what they want? Like, are we living in a day and age where a woman can like let a dude know, like, yo, you looking mad good, I'm trying to smash?
Yes.
Like, how did we become that?
How did we become that? I don't know how we became that, but I do know that it probably came to the point where women stopped waiting for guys to be the ones to always make the first approach. I feel like we took matters into our own hands. And maybe it came with this whole equality movement. We felt like men were always supposed to be, like how people say, we expect men to be chivalrous and we expect all this. Well, I think that we should be able to vocalize also what we want, what we deserve, anything of that nature. I think that probably at that point, women decided to be more vocal, even if it's a little bit more vulgar than people expect us to be, and kind of just take the reins and be like, listen, you're not making the move. Well, I'm gonna let you know right now what's up. What's up with the what's up?
So the reason why I bring this up is because I know slut walk and all this stuff, and women are feeling more empowered about their sexuality. And last night I did see some women doing some interesting things at the party, and I'm like, wow, these women are very open about their sexuality. It's very clear that they willing to get it in, and I'm just like, is it possible for a woman to be very straightforward about what she wants, but still be respected by men?
I don't know about that, because I think that there's a thin line there. I think that men... Okay, something just popped into my head. I think that men feel, and I may be wrong, and if guys, you think otherwise, please let us know. I think that men feel when women are a little bit more reserved, when they allow men to be the ones to approach them, when they play a little hard to get. I think that in men's mind, that is what's considered a good girl. But if a woman is more aggressive, when a woman is more vocal, when they make the first move, I think that they think that those women are like that with everybody. Got it. Therefore, they're more promiscuous. They're not necessarily a good girl. They get around. And I think that that's where the slut shaming or things of that nature or the verbiage alone exists. I don't think that's true. I think I can be just as vocal and still have morals.
You know, I think that like if women are going to be in a situation where they're going to start actually approaching men and start busting the first move, I think we could take a page out of a man's book, meaning that we could have a guy that all he's thinking about is having sex with us. But there's a difference between that guy that comes up to me and be like, yo, ma, what that mouth do? Oh, yeah, man, titties, that ass, da, 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 da. But if a guy comes up to me like, hey, what's your name? What do you do for a living? Oh, that's nice. You're so gorgeous. And they smooth talk their way in. I feel like women need to find that happy medium of where they're kind of,
sure.
They could be like, oh, I'm trying to fuck dude, but let me at least make him feel like I'm interested in who he is and what he does. And maybe he'll be flattered enough to where he'll pursue you and you won't even have to go hard and be like,
all you're basically doing is what you're saying is giving a green light enough for the dude to want to then make the pursuing.
Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm probably against the woman that's being straightforward and like, yo, I'm trying to fuck.
Right. But there's ways around saying that without saying that.
Yeah. So like have more finesse with the green light shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think that I probably fall under that spectrum of things.
Yeah.
Where it may be 5 seconds longer of a look in the eyes, or it may be me approaching you and kind of like touching your arm a little bit longer than I would the norm. That to me is me giving you a green light.
Got it. Now, I'm not here to shame women that are like, yo, son, lay the pipe.
Yeah, whatever you're into, man.
But if you just got to understand that if you do go up to a dude and be like, yo, lay the pipe, you can't expect him to treat you like a queen.
You. Exactly. You can't expect him to treat you as a queen or respect you in comparison to how he will someone in the street that he approached willingly.
Yeah.
Especially if you approached him in that manner and what you're saying. I think that, you know, for every situation, you're choosing how you're going to be approached depending on how you come at people.
Every action has a reaction.
Church.
What you got?
Last and final thing that I have is I love Halloween.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite holidays.
Okay.
I am actually considering renting out my clubhouse here in my apartments.
Okay.
And I'm going to consider doing a public Halloween party.
Meaning inviting people we may not even know personally.
Okay. Now let this be known. It's still in the works and I will continue to give you further information once this is actually solidified. But I will be charging $5 at the door, and this charge will be for your drinks that you will be receiving throughout the night. It will be for anything that you're eating, but also because I am thinking of having a Halloween costume contest, and whoever wins this contest gets the dough.
Oh, I want to be like Big Booty Spider-Man or Big Booty Deadpool.
Well, I'm not the one voting, so it doesn't matter.
Or I want to be like... who I want to be, man. Oh, I got some time.
Yeah, you got some time.
Today I got time.
Yeah, so I'm just putting that out there just in case. I'm going to think of some things where we can make this a Zio and Rome thing, but I really want to focus it on being Halloween. And I will let you guys know. And
why don't we just host the event at a bar or club and have just our name on it?
Venue-wise?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, we'll hit up a bar or club and it'll be like the Zio and Rome Halloween joint. They'll have their own bartenders. You know what I mean? We'll host it.
Yeah. It's in the works, but it's definitely an idea that I want to, you know, cross over and, you know, dot my I's, cross my T's.
I am in full support of this plan.
Yes. So I think it would be fun. And I just want everyone to know what the event would entail and that it's a reward at the end. Who invests the most time in their costume and is excited about that, you may get a reward at the end.
All right, great.
Yes.
So listen, a reminder, if you're trying to go through the 1 year anniversary, hit us up. Another thing that I want to say, if you guys wouldn't mind just spending some time letting us know what you think about the podcast, rate us, subscribe, connect with us on Instagram. We just got accepted to Google Play for podcasts. So, dude, we're everywhere.
We're on a lot of platforms. That's Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes,
Castbox, everything. We're on everything.
Yeah.
At this point, we're on everything except SoundCloud. And I'm starting to consider maybe.
I don't necessarily like the setup of SoundCloud. No shade to SoundCloud or respect. I just personally don't like the way that it's set up.
Yeah, so your interaction is very much appreciated, and I just want to thank you guys so much for the support. We're coming up on a year. This has been wonderful.
Yes, lots of things coming up. Expect a lot more for us to discuss.
All right, dude, any other final words?
I'll see.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Zio and Rome. We'll see you later.